Hi guys, welcome to MEICM Live. My name is Abhishek and we're going to be talking about this. I can't call it a defeat because a defeat is when you lose a game. We didn't lose a game tonight. We lost so much more than just a game. That was humiliating. That was embarrassing. Um, it's a slap on all of our faces, all of you watching, every single one of you tuning in for this live right now. It's a bloody slap on our face. We breathe this club, don't we? We breathe it. We live our lives based around the fucking fixtures of this club. We live our lives around the social media of this club. Anything that we want to tweet, anything that we want to post has United plastered all around it. And this is the shit that you get. This is the shit that you get. This is a Sunday evening. A lot of you are going back to work tomorrow morning. You have your own Monday morning pressures. You have your own Monday morning shit to deal with. You've all got problems at home. We've all got shit that we're dealing with. The one respite, the one thing that keeps us fucking sane in this world, the one thing that keeps us absolutely normal and calm, the one thing that we look forward to in this life, and the one thing that we look forward to in this world, this is what it does to you. This. And I'm not talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm not talking about Ed Woodward, I'm not talking about the Glazers. Tonight, I'm talking about 11 footballers on the fucking pitch. I'm talking about 11 Manchester United footballers, 11 footballers who get paid. I think there are 140 people watching this live. Combine all our fucking salaries. Combine all our fucking salaries on an annual basis. And I don't think David De Gea makes, I think David De Gea makes that in a week. I think Paul Pogba makes that in 3 days. That's the shit that they give about this club. Look at the combined shit that all of us give about this club. And this is what we get. This is what we fucking deserve from this club. This is what we deserve. All of us sit at home, right? We say believe, and I'm just as much to blame. In fact, I'll lead this. I sit at home, okay? I sit at home and I keep yapping, believe. Dude, United, I love United, glory, fuck this, fuck that. This is what we get, man. We get fucking United up our ass. This is what we get. And this is Manchester United Football Club. And guys, not too long ago, I was sat doing a pre-season review. I was doing a pre-season preview with my mates, and I did this on social media. It's out there. When I said we'd fight for the title, we'd fight for the bloody title. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't think we're fighting for the championship. We can't fight for the championship. I don't think we can fight for League 2 or League 1 either. This team is okay. So the intent of today was to do player ratings, but we're not going to do player ratings. I'm not going to waste your time doing player ratings. You deserve better. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to give you more shit than you need about this team, right? I'm not going to do it because okay, let's just start and end with player ratings. And please put it in the chat if you agree or disagree. 0 for the entire team. 0. I'm so glad our lineage and us Indians, we bloody invented that word, or we discovered that number. 0. One big fat egg to this entire side. Dude, we are losing, and at halftime, I buy into what Roy Keane says, man. At halftime, the players are coming back. I see Eric Bailly and Paul Pogba chilling with Jose Mourinho. I see Tanguy and Ndombele and Pogba high-fiving. I see Fred lose a ball after making a half-decent run, punting the ball through the middle, losing the ball and then just putting his hands up and turning around. This is Manchester United. This is what these guys get paid 250,000 for. I'm going to make a statement here. I'm going to make a comment here. Harry Maguire has committed a bigger crime tonight than he did in Greece. And I'm being serious right now. He committed a bigger crime tonight by playing football for Manchester United. I can't believe, like, guys, we've been taken by Leicester, haven't we? It's not possible. It's not possible. How did Ben Chilwell go for 40 million or 50 million or whatever it was? And how did we get taken for 80 million for Harry Maguire? I'll tell you how. He's English. Harry Maguire is English. Oh my God, he's English. Bump up his price tag right there. He's fucking English. He's overpaid. He's overaged. He's overrated. And he's English. That's Harry Maguire, guys. That's the captain of this club. You know what? If I could sum up this entire match by one player's performance, it's Harry Maguire. If I could sum up the state of affairs that Manchester United currently are in, it's Harry Maguire. Everything that we are, everything that we do right now is Harry Maguire. Just look at everything. Does he give a shit about being captain of Man United? Does he give a... Okay, let's move on. Let's take this on. Let's talk about Eric Bailly. All I'm going to say about Eric Bailly is, see, he didn't shock me. He didn't surprise any of us. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat. Eric Bailly didn't surprise any one of us today who watched this game. I'll tell you why. Eric Bailly, we've all known, is prone to making stupid fucking errors. He's got the IQ of my glass of water right now. Eric Bailly and this glass of water have the same IQ. It's just all pulse play. It's just all emotion, instinct. There's no maturity in Eric Bailly. There's no mature thinking. There's no straightforward sort of, look down. I need to play good football. I am talented. Nothing. Eric Bailly reminds you of Mario Balotelli in defense. That's what Eric Bailly is. Tremendous potential, tremendous talent, but just no brain. He just doesn't have a brain. And I'm not gonna go on and on about Eric Bailly because there are other footballers that I'm really upset about. And guys, today I haven't used my iPad. I've used my phone because today I want to bring a lot of you on. And I apologize once again for the Brighton debacle where I couldn't bring any of you all on because I want to bring people on for this chat. But give me a thumbs up if you agree with me. I have been watching United for about close to 20 years now. Close to 20 years. 2002 was the first season that I watched United. Yeah, almost 20 years. This is not only the worst performance that I have watched United put in, this is the most disappointed, not sad. There is a difference. This is the most disappointed that I have been as a United fan. Disappointed. And this is the most disappointed I have been to watch Manchester United outside of the playing field. This is, if you just look at the mentality of these players, guys, right now, just look at the mentality. I'm going to come to some more players. Marcus Rashford. I should have started with you. What has happened, mate? What has happened? Your back injury was too long ago now for me to bring it up. And I'm not going to be polite. I'm not going to be naive anymore, man. What are you doing, Marcus? What are you doing? Are you out to prove to everyone that Van Gaal made a mistake about you? Are you out to prove the fact that English players are overrated? Is that what you're trying to put out there? That English players are overrated and the reason why you are Marcus of Rashford is because you're English and you're Manc born and you're Manchester born? I have players playing in bloody Parel who are better than you, man, right now. And they'll never get a call up because they don't have a British passport like you. And I'm not going to talk about anything else, Marcus. I'm talking about your performance on the pitch today. I'm talking about your performance in that 90/45 that you put in. To be very honest, guys, did Marcus play 90 minutes? Did he play? I didn't see him in the second half. Please tell me that who went off with Bruno Fernandes? Did Marcus go off with Bruno Fernandes? I didn't see him in the second half. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Let's talk about Mason Greenwood. Again, for those of you joining us, every player gets a 0. So we're not doing player ratings. We're doing fundamental soul searching right now. This is the MUSCM fundamental fan soul searching. We need to ask ourselves questions, guys. Let's get serious. Let's ask ourselves questions. Why do we do this? Why do we put ourselves through this, guys? Why do we put ourselves through this? Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Mason Greenwood. Mason, you know what you remind me of now, but I'm not gonna lay into you because you're still some, you're like that little bit of light that still shines in an otherwise dungeon that's been abandoned even by the Guantanamo guards within Guantanamo Bay. You are that. That's where the club is and that's where you are. But Mason, tell me something, man. I'll tell you who I think you're starting to behave like. You are now starting to behave like that cool kid in class who is a complete stud, knows he'll get away with it, gets decent grades, but the class is in a shit school and that school is crap. It's one of the worst schools in the world. So you are now getting away because you're not as bad as the rest of your classmates, but you need to start realizing that you are playing for the worst school, that you are studying in the worst school on the planet. That is where you are right now, and you need to start picking yourself up. You need to start raising the bar. Look, Mason, all I'm going to say is when you played for Manchester United last season, you had it easy. You had it very easy. You had it easier than Brandon Williams. You had it easier than the other kids. I'll tell you why. Brandon Williams, when he puts in 90 minutes, and Nemanja Vidic used to talk about this. When Brandon Williams when a defender puts in 90 minutes at 18 or at 19 years old, right? When he puts in 90 minutes and he makes one tiny error, he gets vilified. That's what we've been doing that to Brandon Williams, haven't we? We've been doing that to Brandon Williams. He makes one tiny error and the lot of you take off on him. Mason Greenwood does absolutely fuck all for 270 minutes. And oh no, he's amazing. Oh no, he's talented. He didn't get service. Mason wasn't fed. What is Mason? Dude, we used to have a team. Cristiano Ronaldo used to play on the right wing for us, man. Would we ever complain about Cristiano Ronaldo not getting service? If we lost the game, okay, we would blame it on our wingers. My point to you, Mason, right now is you need to step up. Take this from what I'm saying. Step up. If you don't get the service, we don't care anymore. You need to start creating from scratch. That's the level of Manchester United. We're done, man. We're done wanking over these British young talents who come and score against Wimbledon FC. And you know what? You had a terrific season, Mason, last year. Now step it up. Step it up. Contribute to the team when the team is at its worst. Lift the levels of Manchester United on your own, and then we'll know that you truly are someone who can take this team ahead. Let's talk about Anthony Martial. But before I get into Anthony Martial, guys, let's talk about the referee. This is my last rant about this team on my own, and then I'm going to bring on my first guest. Personally, I think the referee ruined the game. We were shit. It's not an excuse. It's just the truth, right? He ruined the game because I think the referee should have sent Lamela off as well. Given that he didn't send Lamela off, I don't know why he sent Martial off. This is the problem with modern day football, right? A player like Martial gets tapped on the neck or whatever, and he doesn't go down. If that happened to Di Maria, if that happened to Nani, if that happened to any one of those other players, they go down, both players get a yellow or both players get sent off, or the deal becomes bigger. Martial gets hit, doesn't react, or at least doesn't fall down and reacts like that. Reacts in a different manner. I'm not defending his actions. He should not have reacted like that. But Martial doesn't react in the way that we often lament, and he doesn't dive and he doesn't do any of those dirty things, and he gets sent off. I think the ref needs to have a long, hard look at whatever he did tonight, because I think the ref ruined the game. Till Martial got sent off, I still think we had somewhat of a game in that. You know, we got the early penalty. Yes, we conceded 2 goals. Yes, it was shit football. Eric Bailly trying to play from the back. I keep telling you, we aren't the kind of football team that can play from the back. But no, they keep doing it. You know, they keep trying to be the Barcelona of 2009 that we absolutely aren't. If anything, we're probably the opposite of Barcelona from 2009. Guys, I'm going to get some more perspective, man. I'm sorry, but I haven't read any comment because I've just been on a bit of a rant, as you can imagine. Okay, guys, for those of you joining us for the first time, send in your video requests. I'm going to start adding you guys, and let's have a look at what's happening with this team. Shardul, this is not the player ratings. This is fundamental Manchester United soul searching that we're doing right now, right? We're just doing some soul searching right now, and we're Shardul, hi man.
Hey man, hey.
I don't know if you've been with us from the start, Shardul, but I might have said some pretty strong things about our performance tonight. I just want to know from you, man. So what did you make of these 93 minutes that we were subject to? I'm not going to say watch, because we were subject to it. This was Guantanamo Bay torture of loud music on headphones inside a cell.
Avi, I was so pissed. I took off my jersey at the halftime. I was wearing it with pride until that moment, but the team just let us down big time, big time. I don't even want to comment about any of those 11 players. Like whatever happened.
May I ask you a question? Yeah, so I agree with you. Let's not talk about the players. Shardul, what does Man United mean to you, man? What does this club mean to you?
So I have said it time and again. I started following the club almost 10, 12 years back, 15 years back rather, and I bleed red. I feel proud to be a Man United fan, but seeing the proceedings that are happening right now, I can't just.
Why do you bleed red? Why do you bleed red? What is it that made you fall in love with this club? What are those values? What is, there's that happiness that this club used to give us, right? What was it?
Yeah. I'll tell you the exact story that made me fall in love with this club, right? It was the Ruud van Nistelrooy incident, right? He missed a penalty against Arsenal. The players pounced on him, but that
Yeah.
man, the next season itself, he pounced back. He gave it back to the Arsenal team, and we won, right? We that was the only match that the Invincibles could have lost if Ruud had scored that
That
penalty,
goal
right?
that you speak of when Ruud van Nistelrooy scored that penalty,
Yeah,
do you remember the
yeah,
celebration, Shardul?
yeah, definitely. He
What did
ran,
that celebration tell you about Ruud van Nistelrooy and what it meant for him to play for United? Was it the wage that he was
that.
sliding for?
No, no, definitely not. See, I'll tell you, the players that are playing right now, they don't have the sense of belongingness towards the club. That is point blank. Okay, everybody's just playing for the high wages. I want 270K per week. I want 330K per week. I want 150K per week. I'm just earning my money. It's like 9 to 6 job. That's what they're doing. But just on the physical basis, right? There is no sense of belongingness any of those players have. Harry Maguire, total shite, man. Total shite. 3 goals conceded because of his failures. And still he's just walking around, loitering around on the pitch. Totally unacceptable. And he's the club captain. Wow. Wow. I don't know. I totally agreed when you said that he's getting the privileges just because he's English. Totally getting the privileges just because he's English. That is no, not acceptable. I don't believe that. Uh, okay, some tactical errors from Ole as well. I don't think he would have. He should have got McTominay and Fred up. If I would have been there, okay, fine. I would have taken either of Maguire or Belly and Baye, and I would have get in Fred to get the defensive stability, right? But the defensive stability that he got in by getting in uh, Fred and McTominay and taking out Bruno, big crime, big crime. And then Pogba giving that penalty off, no, totally unacceptable. Yeah,
Let's talk
totally.
about Paul Pogba, man. I'll tell you what bothers me about Paul Pogba, right? I've been his fucking lawyer. I've been his lawyer for many years now. I have my best mates who often think I'm deluded because I back Pogba to the T, right? I keep saying, and I've gone out there and I've gotten a lot of flack because that's how much I believe in Paul Pogba's talent, right? I've gone out and said Pogba on pure ability and talent is one of the world's best midfielders on ability and talent. Shardul, how is it possible that when you are so talented, when you're a World Cup winner for your national team, when you've scored screamers for Juventus, I think he made it to the Champions League final as well in 2015.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're that kind of a player with that kind of ability and talent, if your head is not in it, right, despite being the highest paid player and despite being all of that, how can your levels drop to that big an extent? How is it possible?
Dude, I just feel that Pogba has a switch. Okay, when he plays for France, he's on the top-notch level, and then when he plays for United, he just switches that off, totally off. Okay, people compare his statistics with the Juventus seasons that he's had, and they say that it's just at par at what he's doing at Man United. But there is no passion, man. I'm totally fair with the statistics that they provide, but there needs to be a passion that you play for the badge, right? Nobody is
Sure.
playing for the badge. Not a single player is playing. Only I see the most vocal player on the pitch ever at all ever is one that is David De Gea because he's the keeper. He has to be bloody vocal. He has to compose the team. And second, it's Maxos. That's it. Nobody is more vocal than both of them. Even today, after he came in on in the second half, at the 65th minute, there was a throw in on our end, right? And he was just chit chatting. He was just talking to every single player he could. And nobody did that. Maguire, shoulders down, chin down, he's walking around. By the same thing, the defense was like catastrophic. I can't say a single word about the entire team. The team had let us down. There were some glimpses of okay football that we could expect from United in the first half from Mason Greenwood. The runs that he made, the balls that he provided to Rashford, okay. But no, not acceptable from the standards of even the academy players of United, right? Not at all accepted, man. Not at all. I'm so
Fair
disheartened
enough,
by
man.
this.
Fair enough. Shardul, I mean, where you are right now is where all of us are, man. We're just, you said you're using the right words, disheartened, disappointed. We're not angry. We're not sad.
at all.
Udas nahi hum. We're disillusioned, disheartened, disappointed because Anyway, man, Shardul, dude, you've been spot on, man, and I'm just gonna bring a few more people on. A lot of people want to
Surely.
vent, Shardul. Thank you so much, man, for that. And I
Thank you so much for
just keep.
having me, man. Thank
I
you so
mean,
much.
I'm embarrassed to say this, dude. I'm embarrassed to say this, but like, I'm not even gonna look you in the eye. Keep the faith, bro. Keep the faith. I'm not even gonna look you in the eye. I can't. I don't know.
There's no
I
other
don't know what else to
option.
say to you, man. I don't know what else to say to you.
There's no other
We are
option. There's no
slaves
other
of this
option.
club, dude. We are slaves of this club. It's not like tomorrow we're just gonna walk up, get up in the morning and say, you know what, screw United, yeah. I'm gonna take a dump and I'm gonna shit it out with it for the rest of my life. We are stuck with this club now, man, for the rest of our lives. We are stuck with it. Anyway, Shardul, thanks a lot, buddy. Have a chill night, and I'll catch you next time.
Yep. Thanks a lot.
Guys, send me a video request if you want to join the chat.
I want to understand from people joining. I want to understand what this club means to you, and I want to get this message out there. I want this message to go out there. I don't want to rant more. I've ranted about every player. If you want, let's cover the players that we haven't covered. But by and large, the whole team deserves a 0. Performance-wise, maybe few players here and there get 1, 2, 1, 2. But just for the heart and this. Anyway, enough said. I want to know what this club means to all our fellow viewers right now, man. I want to know what it means to you. So for that, I'm just going to bring on some of you guys on the chat, and I want to know from all of you all. Fevin, if you're watching, Fevin, Fevin is here. Fevin, I've accepted your request, man, because I want to speak to you, bro. It's been a while since I've spoken to you, and I want to know what you think
of everything that's going on. Kevin, good to see you, buddy. I wish we could see each other in better circumstances, but
Yeah,
Kevin,
bro, yeah.
why are you a United fan, man? Why are you a United fan?
I can't explain that, bro. I can't explain that because the first time ever I watched football was in 2000, and I fell in love instant. No, I saw that team and I fell in love. That's it. I cannot explain how did that happen, but it just clicked. Today it was. I don't feel anything actually. I was mad when we lost 6-1 to City, but today it was
Yeah.
no. I was expecting it today. It was like yeah. After Brighton, I knew we had a group chat with other MUFCM guys, from past years. We were talking about this and we were like, yeah, we were lucky against Brighton. They hit post 5 times that day, and it was coming. It was like
Yeah.
we could see that it was coming, and we knew what the problem was, and we had a whole summer to deal with it. We didn't. We are after Sancho. We are after Teles. I think Teles and Cavani are coming in. Don't know
I
what the
don't
right
care
name.
about transfers right now,
Yeah,
Kevin,
no, no.
because 1, 2
Yeah,
transfers
I do
here and there is
understand
not
that.
going to
I
fix.
do understand that. I do understand that. I wanted to say something regarding this.
Please.
The thing is, we have to target certain players. We had a whole summer to do that. We knew at the end of last season, we saw the defense was crumbling under pressure. We weren't able to play from back. Okay, we saw that. Lindelof is not a centre back for me. I've been telling this for the last 2 years now since he signed. I always say that he's not a centre back. As myself who plays a centre back position, I have seen him, and it just comes naturally to some. And we don't have proper centre back. I think Maguire is vocal. Like Shardul says, he wasn't vocal today, but he is vocal. From whatever
Yeah.
the players who used to play with him say, that he is vocal actually. But I don't know what's happened to him. Maybe it is fatigue or anything. I have no idea about it.
Steven,
But
I'm going to ask
he
you a
has
question,
been
man.
very bad.
I-
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
going to ask you a question, man. See, collectively, we all agreed this whole team is shit right now, right? Especially given
Yeah.
tonight's performance, the team was shit. Now, there will be some people who will say, you know what? See, the other way to look at this is glass half full, right? Which is, isse bura to ho hi nahi sakta. It can't get worse than this. My worry is, Fevin, in about 2 weeks, we play Paris Saint-Germain away, right? But anyway, I'm not coming to that. My question to you is, Fevin, what now from here? If you're manager of Man United, what do you do? So what now? What do you do?
I'll make a statement.
Sancho
As a
is not
captain,
fixing this. Teles
no,
does not
it is
fix
not.
this. What do you do?
As a manager, my first step would be to bench Maguire. As a captain, that was a disgraceful performance. Okay, get bench Pogba as well because I love that guy. Okay, I have been watching him since the youth days. I used to watch him play for youth team with that broken stream. Okay, I used to watch him. I love that guy. Okay, but he is not performing. Bench who are not
Sure.
performing. We've got VDB in. Okay, pressurize them. Okay, After that 6-1 loss to City, where we got humiliated, okay, Sir Alex was there. That's a different thing. But now
Yeah.
Ole needs to make a statement and no, bench those guys who are not performing.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
in Maguire. Any which ways we are getting conceding 6 goals a match. So give that Mengi guy a chance. That boy deserves a
Yeah.
chance. Give him a chance. If you're not getting anyone, give Mengi a chance. We'll concede 5. Any which ways way conceding 6, right? Give him a chance. Let him play. Okay, let him play. Make a statement to the senior players that no matter what, your performance should speak. And one more thing I want to add to this, Ole is to blame as well, okay? Ole is not blameless. Ole is to blame for this performance as well. Uh, I don't know what the team selection was good, but the defensive organization today was bad, really bad.
Yeah, yeah,
I want
yeah.
to point out one particular situation. Okay, we all saw all 3 goals, and we know first 2 goals Maguire mistake, third one was Bai's mistake. If you check the 4th goal, you see Shaw in centre back position, Maguire covering for him on in the left back position. Okay, so tell me where's the defensive organization over there? There's no defensive organization. What are the coaches doing in that scene? Just make a statement. Get these players who did not perform today, bench them, give another chance to VDB or anyone. I don't care, but bench these guys. They should know what they have done today. They should feel the hit and bench them, get it sorted. I don't think so. Ole will stick around for
Fair,
more
fair,
than a
fair.
month because the coming fixtures are very difficult. You can see Chelsea. We've got Newcastle. We've got Paris Saint-Germain. There are many tough fixtures coming around. I don't think so. He'll stick around. Honestly speaking, I don't see him past November.
Fair enough. Strong words there, Fevin. Fair enough. But I understand everyone's upset, and there will be feelings like these coming up. But anyway, man, thanks for coming on MUSCM Live. I'm going to bring on some more
bro.
people now and understand what
Yeah,
they
bro,
feel.
bro.
But good to see you, man. I just wish it was under better circumstances. Bit of a strong reaction there. My
worry now with our United Brigade is that the Ollie out is hashtags are going to start. I don't think that's the solution, guys. I started this post-match dissection with the fact that there were 11 men on the pitch today that disappointed us because till kickoff, right? There were 1 or 2 changes that we wanted and they happened, right? We wanted Bailly to start ahead of Lindelof. He did that. I was hoping for a Matic start ahead of Fred McTominay. He did that. I was hoping he wouldn't play Dan James on the right and just started Mason Greenwood. He did that. So I don't think we should start with the Ollie out brigade yet because come on, guys. I just think there are so many more issues than meets the eye, and it's not a solution at all, guys. If Ollie had those 4 signings that he wanted come June, right? If he had those 2 months to sort of do his pre-season or whatever, or to even have those players at his disposal at the training ground, and then we come into a season where we perform like this, where tactically we're just not there, I completely get it. But I don't think now's the time for Ollie out. I think there are several other heads that need to roll before we do that. If anything, Terran Mengi should get a call out. I agree to some points that Fevin said. Make some strong calls. The first thing I would have done if I was Ollie was I would have told the bus driver to leave many minutes before full time. I would have taken all the players' cars that were parked at Old Trafford, locked the wheels and told them find your own fucking way back home and you report to training tomorrow at 6 a.m. When I was in school, when we would lose a football match and when we play shit like that, they would call us the very next day to school for football training and they would run us to the ground. And I'm talking about MSSA, Maharashtra, Mumbai. I'm talking about that level, dude. Old Trafford, I want Ollie to be absolutely ruthless. I'm going to tell you guys a story that I read recently. It was really cool. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but this was either after the 6-1 defeat to City or it was after the 4-1 defeat to Liverpool. After the defeat, right, we lost the game. I think it was the 4-1 defeat to Liverpool. We lost the game. We come back into the dressing room and Sir Alex Ferguson walks in and he says, can you hear that? The Old Trafford faithful, the dummies like us, right? The idiots, the fools like us who have fallen in love with this club. They were still chanting and shouting Man United's name. They were chanting, they were still going at it despite losing 4-1 or 6-1. I don't remember the result, which team it was. Ferguson walks into the dressing room and he says, do you hear that? Do you fucking hear that? You have to win them the league now. You have to win these guys the Premier League. You know, that is the kind of power, that is the kind of magic that man had. And I really hope Oli does something similar. Look, guys, the fix is not on the football pitch right now. There are fundamental issues with this club. Mentally, we are defeated right now. And a lot of you putting in saying Patrice Evra. Guys, I'm on the live, so I haven't seen it, but I will check it out. If someone could be so kind to just let me know what Evra did say. In the meantime, I'm going to add a few more people, guys, so keep sending in those requests. Someone wanted to really join. He mentioned like 2 or 3 times. Okay, Pratik Relan wanted to join. Pratik, I've accepted your request, man. Oh man, this club is gonna end me, dude. I have grey hair. Literally, I've grey. My
Wife looked at me today. She's like, "Why are you graying?" I said, "Don't you know what club I support?" Pratik, welcome to the live, man.
Hi, Abhishek. How are you?
I've seen better days, buddy. I wish I could say I'm well, but I've seen better days.
One of the worst days as a Man United fan. I've been following since 2001.
Yeah.
What is disappointing is that where is the passion in the players? Where's the disappointment in the halftime?
I have a question for
Did
you,
you see
Pratik.
Pogba?
I have a question for you. So, I'm sorry to cut you, man, but then, yeah, so we've discussed Pogba, Maguire, all the culprits we've discussed, right? My question to you is I want to talk about our fullbacks, Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because I'm very conflicted in my head about them. I thought compared to the rest of the team, they didn't have as bad a game. I'm not saying in absolute terms they didn't have a bad game. In absolute terms, they had a shit game. But in relative terms, I still thought they were not as bad as the rest. But what did you make of our fullbacks, man? And what would you fix going into the next one?
Wan-Bissaka, when he joined, he started really, really well for Man United. But he's fallen off after the COVID-19, when the league started again, he's fallen up badly. And I've never rated Luke Shaw as a good left back because one, he cannot give the long crosses, first of all, the flying crosses, which the fullback has to do it. And defensively also, he's never been great. You see his positioning today for some of the goals, where for the fourth goal especially, where was he? Was he a centre back? No. He has to be, very, very aware of where his positioning has to be. But he's very poor at it. He's poor at crossing. So Luke Shaw, I have never been a fan. I'm just waiting for Alex Telles if he joins it. There will be some relief at the left back, definitely. And Wan-Bissaka,
aren't you relieved right now that we've just about? Sorry, man, but I did put out a few tweets yesterday because I'm not a big fan of this Cavani signing. I think it's just. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of the player, but I'm not a fan of the. It reeks desperation. It reeks everything. It's so representative of everything that's wrong with Manchester United right now, right? We're just shit. We're shit everywhere.
It's not Falcao too.
Pratik, what disappoints me so much and what hurts me so much is outside of the pitch, right? Outside of the green grass where Man United would play on, we were always shit. We were never great in the transfer market. We were never good at buying. We've always been the worst club to sell players. We were always the most overpaid club, all of that. What is hurting me and upsetting me and worrying me now, Pratik, is that is now percolating into the field, man. We are becoming like we are as a club.
If you see the team when Ferguson was there, for example, we used to win the midfield with Cleverly, Anderson. Then Smith.
Yes.
They were pretty average players, but they used to give their all. Now we are playing with world-class players like Pogba. Then there is Fred. Then there is McTominay, Matic. Where is the midfield? Where is that stealth? Where is that fight? I was fuming when Pogba gave the penalty. No doubt the match was over, but Pogba gave the penalty away. He was laughing after that.
He didn't give a shit, dude. He didn't give a shit. He was
you are on a fucking 300K a week. You are, people say that you are world's best midfielder on your day. Boss, you've been at United for 4 years now. Where is your day?
It's this
I've not seen Pogba.
Lackadaisical, insipid, couldn't give a shit attitude that pisses me off.
Like you, I have been always a Pogba supporter. Like as you've been, you just told some time back that all your mates, make fun of you because you support Pogba to the T. I do the same. But trust me, dude, from the last 1.5 years, 2 years, Pogba doesn't care a fuck. I mean, I just don't understand what is he doing on the pitch. I mean, just because you're earning that well, you don't care whether Man United loses or wins. then and I remember Solskjaer saying that I want my team to be the fittest in the league, to run the most in the league. Where is it? Where is it? They were not even running. Where is the pressing? Where I couldn't see the plan. I am Ole in. I'm not saying Ole should be sacked because he's doing a lot of good things. He's getting that Man United back. But where is the pressing? Where is the hard work? Where are your players being the fittest? And you're saying that I will buy players or I will play the 11 who will play for the team, give their all for the badge. Which player was giving it for the badge? Do they even understand what playing for Man United means?
I thought Donny van de Beek sitting on the bench was giving more to United than the 11 players combined on the pitch.
Why was Fred on the pitch at halftime rather than Van de Beek? What does Fred offer? Van de Beek is definitely a better passer, better creator. What does Fred offer? He's not even a defensive midfielder. I just can't understand what is wrong with this club. Okay, this 6-1, you just wipe it off from your day. Even without this, at Brighton also we were poor defensively. Where is the shape? Where is the organization? Where is the passion? I want passion. You lose 6-1, 6-2, you lose 10-1, but I need that fight. I need to be proud of the players playing for the badge. Where is it?
I'll tell you one more thing, I'll tell you one more thing. If you play for the badge, if you play with passion, if you play with
you will not lose 10-1.
You will not lose 10-1. You will not lose 6-1.
Exactly.
Exactly, in United's, I think every single United fan in India, okay, and we might be millions of us, right? I think we've all been watching football collectively for maybe 4 decades. Like I'm guessing the oldest United fan today in India who's born and raised in India has probably been watching from the 80s somehow, right?
Correct.
I don't think, barring that 1-6 defeat to City, I don't think anyone has ever had to go through this. And I'm not talking about results. Definitely. I'm talking about this feeling of being a United fan. We have stooped to that level right now, man.
I'm not even angry. I'm not disappointed. I'm just disheartened. I just can't take this players who are not able to give anything for the badge. Bruno, I think, was the only player who was running around and trying to create something, and he was subbed at halftime. I don't understand why. Because since he has joined, I've seen him, running throughout the pitch, defending, creating chances, even being vocal enough, and he was subbed at halftime when you needed him the most.
Yeah.
And Maguire, my God, he was nutmegged from a cross for the 4th goal. How can you be nutmegged with a cross? I mean, you are a 80 million costing defender.
He's an overrated English footballer. Is all I'm going to call him.
You know what, Abhishek? I feel that the Greece incident is somewhere on his back of his mind. Bench him for 2 months, man. Just and play with Ted and Mengi. Play with Tuanzebe when he's fit. Give you the chance. Okay, Oli is saying that I'll give you the chance. Where are the youth in the team? I can't see Mengi playing. Mengi could have played in the Carabao Cup. Why was he not there? If he would have played better, we could have played him in a league game. Now you have Champions League. I can't just imagine what will PSG and Leipzig do to our defenses. I really can't understand when a Jose team, who's always considered a defense team, is scoring 6 goals for you. I don't understand what Mbappe and what Neymar will do to us. It's disgraceful. I just can't take it, man. As I said, I'm not angry. I'm just disheartened. I can't take these players who are not able to give anything for the badge. And Ole, if he says
completely agree.
And if Ole says that, boss, I am going to play the players who are the fittest and who give everything for the club, well, now is the time. Sack Maguire also, man. Put him on the bench. You are not performing. Put Pogba on the bench. You are not performing. Put Rashford on the bench. What is Rashford doing? He just runs around on the left wing doing nothing. Boss, do your charity work. Change your profession. You don't need to be a footballer. Okay, you're doing great outside the football world. Do that. Don't come for playing football.
Absolutely, man.
If you can't perform.
Absolutely.
How many chances do you want? And Marshall, I just read a tweet from someone. Marshall has a red card, 1 red card, but 0 shots on target in 3 games. That's disgrace you. And you say that you don't have service. You have Bruno, you have Pogba, you have enough service.
And we give Ighalo stick. Saying that, we give Ighalo stick when Ighalo is made to play with the likes of Andreas Pereira, Diogo Dalot feeding him, and he's still
Yeah.
Yes, he has his back to goal all the time, but at least he has his back to goal, shielding, letting the wingers run through. And we give Ighalo shit, and we call Ighalo crap, and we say that we signed a championship level Watford player who just kisses the badge. At least he kisses the badge. At least he contributes. Here you have Anthony Martial who puts in 6 games for us, has me wanking and calling him 100 million Ferrari, and then he does this for 3 games, man. He does this.
Exactly, man. Igalo, whatever he is, however average player he is, he's happy for playing for the football club. He knows what it means to be a Man United player. Boss, we need those players. We don't need a player like Pogba who's on a 300k a week, doesn't care a fuck. I am sure in a couple of hours he put an Instagram post and doing hee hee ha ha. And doesn't care a fuck about what went wrong, man. I mean,
Very true, man, Pratik. Very true. Anyway, it's shambolic, man, and I think you've also said it very well. It's shambolic, it's disheartening, it's disappointing. It's nothing that this club stands for. It's nothing that we stand for. It's and everything that's going on right now.
I don't think even signing Sancho would give any relief to any football player now.
That's the thing, right? This is so much deeper than just a fix. Anyway, Pratik, thanks so much, man. I'm going to bring on the next guy to just try and understand where
Thank
next.
you, Abhishek. See you.
Take care, buddy. Cheers. Guys, send in those video requests, man. Send in those video requests. Let's keep this conversation going.
Try and understand now what next for Manchester United, right? We did sort of touch upon it. We did talk about severe changes, changing the lineup, but realistically, you don't want to tinker too much as well, right? Because if your best team can't perform, then, I don't know what you're going to go about with the rest. I saw someone saying, please bring me on. I have something important to say. It was someone with a Keswani or a... Was it you, Aditya Keswani? It was maybe. Aditya, I've accepted your request, man, if you're watching. Aditya, let's get chatting. Let's try and understand what you have to say.
Hey, man. Hey. How's it going?
I mean, I'll let you answer that question, bro.
No, okay. So,
Aditya, see, this is the thing, right? Aditya, one sec. This is the thing, right? Look at you right now. Look at your wall. Look at this. I wish the motherfuckers in Manchester could see this. I wish the players could see this.
Okay, so before I start, what I want to say, you should know I talked to this poster, man. I talked to this poster, and there's one more here that says "Not arrogant, just better." That's what United was, we were...
Aditya, I'm going to stop you, man. I'm going to stop you because what you just said is very powerful. You talked to that poster, right? I used to have one of those calendar frames that I would talk to. I would touch it before every game and pray.
Still have those.
Tell me something, man. Yeah, exactly. Tell me something. Don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 21.
How crazy do your friends or your parents think you are?
In my initial days of supporting, in my initial days, I used to start crying when we drew 2-2 to Sunderland, or when
how crazy did people think you were, man? Did people think you were absolutely stupid?
My mother is like, why you don't cry for your exams, but you cry for this? And I'm like, you don't get it, man.
Now my question to you, Aditya, is you are echoing the sentiment of every viewer here. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but you are, dude. I am you. You are me. Now tell me something. Do you think I'm not even talking about Ed Woodward. Do you think Ed Woodward's secretaries, fucking car cleaner in Manchester gives a shit or knows about this? Do you think they know about this kind of passion that we bleed?
That's the thing. So I dig a lot. I dig deep on Twitter, and I read this one journalist. He said when Ighalo was signed, the board in United, they were happy that Ighalo's signing was trending worldwide on Twitter. That's what they cared about. They didn't care about the fact that we got a backup striker. They cared about Twitter trending, and that's the club in a nutshell right now. So I don't know what to say, man, because I do have something to say. I feel like at this moment this club desperately needs a director of football. Just hear me out.
Sure.
I started following United in about 2006, 2007, and that's when the man who made me fall in love with this club was Edwin van der Sar. I'm a goalkeeper. Edwin, he made me fall in love with this club.
We signed him from Fulham, £4 million deal, fantastic signing, all of that,
Yeah, and I see Ajax running right now. He is there every day. He is on the training pitch. He's in the Ajax office. He is overlooking it because that's what this club means to him. He
Yeah.
he wants to see this club succeed till his last breath, and that's what Man United need right now. They need someone
Aditya,
who will.
I'm going to give you a completely, like what you're saying is spot on. In fact, on many of our previous lives, right, we brought up the fact that a DOF is what we need. We need someone. I'm going to give you such a slap on our face example as well, right? There is a director of football at Leeds United who's not even English. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from Van der Sar, but he is still Dutch, Ajax, club legend. You know, he has that personal connect. There is a Leeds United director of football who's not even English. He's been in the job for 2 years or 1 year. I forget his name. If you watch the documentary, have you seen the way he bleeds for that club? You know, he cried. It looked like he was going to cry when they didn't sign Dan James because of the effort he put in. Do you think Ed Woodward gives a shit to that level? Do you think?
That's the thing. See, so I actually personally know Aditya Rathod. I've worked with him, and I was
Victor
talking to him
Orta.
about this. Yeah, and he told me that
Who were you talking to?
I think it was Aditya Rathod. I know he's
Yeah,
I've worked
of
with
course.
him.
He's one of the working team members. Yeah.
So he was. I think it was him or someone who told me that when so the Glazer family, they own the Tampa Bay team, NFL team,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they were
They
able
signed
to
Tom
sign.
Brady and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that they don't have the money. It's not that they don't have the power. It's
We
just
don't have
where
the
their priorities
intelligence.
lie.
We don't have the
It's just where their
intelligence. We
it's
don't
where
have the
their priorities
management.
lie. So again, reinstating the fact that we need a director of football, a man who understands football. He needs, and I wouldn't even go with Ole out because I feel Ole
No chance,
has
man. No chance.
he is. I mean, it's a fraction of what the SAF era was. It really is because it's not that he's in. I don't feel he's incapable. Yes, at the start it did feel dicey, like at the start of last season. But those run of games, when he took over, it's the same set of players. Not yes, Bruno is there. Maguire, let's not talk about him. But it's more or less the same set
Yeah.
of players. So the potential is there, but the passion is not.
So Aditya, I like this. You're taking this conversation forward because what you've essentially said is that, see, you're not lamenting too much about the performance tonight because there's no point in that. But you're essentially saying that we need better management and a better structure. One of the ways is to get a director of football. Now, I'm going to ask you, these are more long-termish fixes, right? In the sense that tomorrow, even if we do appoint a director of football, it'll take him as well at least 12 months to sort of iron out the problems. Now, let's for a second, Aditya, let's put you in the hot. I'm going to put you in a bit of a mess right now. Let's say you are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? Going
Yeah.
into in about 2 weeks, we play our next game, right? What are you doing over the
Yeah.
next 2 weeks to this Manchester United team? What are you doing,
Firstly, I am.
or what do you want to see Ole do as a fan?
I want him to get more ruthless because if you remember this one game, the game against City last season, he blasted Jesse Lingard for losing possession. Like he told him, "You lose the ball once more and you're out." I want that. I want more of that because, as you said before in the live, Sir Alex Ferguson knew how to come back.
Yeah,
He knew
yeah.
what will motivate these players. Now, Ole's been there, he's done that. He knows what this club requires. He has to be more ruthless with them. He has to. It's not even a question of ability. You have. I can't.
Yeah.
So that's why you need a director of football to instill that Man United passion. You need that. You talked about Igalo. He loved this club. He doesn't care. He's on the bench. He's so happy being here, and
Yeah.
he loves this club. But then there are some players who just don't love this club so much. And Alexis Sanchez, he was the worst signing in Man United history. I rate Angel Di Maria better than him.
I think we were
They
swayed
signed-
by the Robin Van Persie effect when we signed Sanchez. I'll tell you why, man. Because what I mean by the Robin Van Persie effect was, at the end of the day, we did sign Arsenal's most informed and best player. At that time, when we were sat there on the verge of signing Alexis Sanchez, what was going on in our heads? Hey, the last time we signed Arsenal's most informed and best player, we won the league. He was our best player. He was standout. So I'm not defending the signing. I'm still saying retrospectively worst signing in the world, but I'm still saying we had our reasons to sign him. Also, at the time, we were a Jose Mourinho team. See, Jose Mourinho's done it again with Gareth Bale. So it's not unexpected that we made that signing at the time. But to continue my point, my larger issues with this club are things like signing Edison Cavani right now. Again, nothing against the player, but complete panic. No plan A, no plan B. This reeks plan C.
Correct. You're absolutely right. And the fact that, okay, I wouldn't take away anything from Cavani. He's a proven goal scorer.
Yep.
But
Yep.
he also needs service, right? He also needs people to feed him in the ball. And yes, he might, again, understand he's not English. So,
Yeah.
and we don't have good, like, our track record with South American players, it's not good.
It's been very bad.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, it's good. I don't know. It's like a miss and go, I feel.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Harry Maguire, okay, man, performance was. I don't think he should have got the armband in the first place. I feel David De Gea should have got it. I am a huge fan of David De Gea. Yes, he's made mistakes, but I feel had he got that armband, those mistakes wouldn't have happened because when you're the leader, you own up. And you can see David De Gea, he's also frustrated with this defense.
Yeah.
It's so I cannot begin where to imagine like. I
Anyway,
cannot
don't worry,
imagine
man. Don't
begin.
worry. I think you've added some serious value to this chat. I think what you say makes a lot of sense, and I think everyone. I don't know if you saw it, but everyone in the chat really got emo and really gave you a thumbs up when you said, you live this club, man. You are us. You are what we represent, right? So I hope. Anyway, don't worry, man. You know what? I'm going to let you go because it's about 15 minutes left and I still want to get 2 more people. But thanks for joining, man. And
Thank you
just
so much.
chill,
Man.
dude.
Thank you so much.
Just chill and keep loving the club the way you do it. Yeah, just do it for me. Do it for us. Because I don't know how many of us will survive.
I won't stop supporting this club till the day I die, dude. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I know, sab fase hai yaar. We're all stuck with this for life, man. Cheers. Take care. All right, guys.
Interesting stuff there, man. Interesting stuff. We wear this club on our sleeve. I know some of y'all watching right now who literally have United tattooed on your bloody sleeves, man. You guys have United tattooed on your arms. That's how much we care about this club. And this is how much the club cares about you, by the way. This is how much this club cares about you. Just putting it out there. Right. Vidit, oh my God, good to see you, man. I'm gonna add you. Vidit, if I'm not mistaken, are you the same Vidit I watched the game in London with? Crystal Palace away.
Oh, is that another Vidit?
Hi, Abhishek.
Vidit, we watched the game at Palace together.
Yeah, we did.
Thank God I got you on, bro. Yeah, shit. Okay, so guys, just a quick story. Some happiness and everything. So Vidit was, so I met him for the first time in person in 2018 in London. It was my birthday, 6th March, and we were playing Crystal Palace away. So United were in London to play Palace. And Vidit and Sunil and all these guys managed to get me a last minute ticket. And on the day of my birthday, 6th March, we are sitting at Selhurst Park watching United play Palace and we're 2-0 down at halftime. It was freezing cold. We were getting bantered by the home team. We were away supporters. We're standing there. And then we go on and we win the game 3-2. If you guys remember the Matic winner, give us a thumbs up with it. The only positive from this entire chat was this little story that I just said, man.
I just want to give a brief backstory to how we got the tickets as well. I think
Yeah.
it also shows on how much United means to us. So Sunil, on one day prior to the game, he tells me that we have 4 tickets, and 1 ticket is in Bath. And if you manage to go there and get it, then you can come along with us as well. So one day prior to the game, I went to Bath just to get the ticket and came back. And the best decision ever to get to that match and see that fucking match. Like, what a game that was.
And with it, I don't know if you know this story, man. I've said this a couple of times on MESCM before, but even with Sunil, for that day only, I had another story only altogether, man. Like, I didn't get a ticket, and Sunil told me, "Yeah, the ticket is whatever." I don't remember the figures, but he was like, "Yeah, the ticket costs £300." Okay. I was like, bro, £300, and I was a student, and not student. I was like young manager, whatever. Like £300, a lot of money for a game, man. So I was like, nahi chahiye. Sunil is like, bro, see, I bought my ticket for £60. तेरा 300 है ना, चल तू ले ले, अपन दोनों half करते हैं.
Yeah.
That is how much it meant for him to watch a football game with his mate, dude. And that's what we do, right? We do this shit. And then with it, shit like this happens, man. So What do you make, man? What did you make of today? What did you make of what's going on with this team?
So I don't want to say a lot. I think there's just one thing which is going on in my mind is, uh, I think there's a lot of things going to be about Ole out and all of that. But what I see is, if where we see Manchester United, this team is about 10% or like less than that of where we should be. Where Ole should matter and where his tactics should matter is above a level of 40-50% of once you reach there. If the players can't even play till 40-50% of what a Manchester United side should play, then it's not the manager's fault. Like, the players can't be asked about playing well. If you can't defend the way if you're making mistakes like the way they did today, then I don't think the coach can do anything.
Yeah, true, man. True. Which is why it's so, the previous Brighton game that we lost, we were so exposed on the right-hand side. We said, you know what, Aaron Wan-Bissaka either needs a break or he needs someone to challenge him for the right back slot. There were still tactical sort of adjustments that we were still talking, right? What's so shocking tonight with it, and we're going to look back on this night because tonight's the night where United lost and we weren't talking tactics. We were talking heart. Dude, what United player, in what era has a United player have to be sold about the club's dream, man? I feel like the impossible is happening to Manchester United. The impossible is happening to us right now.
So even at 3-1, I was like on a other United group, I was like, we'll win this. Because this is exactly the environment where United thrives. Like, the entire world is against us.
Yep.
We are getting the fouls. The refs are against us. We are not getting the fouls. This is the environment United thrives in. So that is what we as fans think, that even at 3-1, we are going to win this. And these players, they don't seem to have this feeling with them.
Anyway, man, just another question. Where are you at? Are you still in the UK or are you back in India?
No, I came back that year only. I came back after. So I think that is the best year. I saw it 17-18 season where we went to the finals, FA Cup finals, and ended up second. After that, it has been downhill. So I came back that year. So I think the
Chale ja, bhai, wapas. Chale ja.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, Vidit, thanks for joining the chat, bro, and I hope to see you again
Thank you.
soon, buddy. Take care. Cheers. Guys, we're not going to let this go on for 60 minutes just because this
Instagram allows us to go on for 60 minutes, guys. We're gonna wrap this chat because it's just too much negativity, and I'm not doing okay, man, in my head. Like, this is starting to really upset me, and some of you all know that it's an exciting time for me as well personally. I have a kid that's coming on the way, so I need to stay happy. I need to stay positive. I need to keep the environment around me positive. So I don't want to get anyone else on. I'm sorry if I didn't get a lot of you did send in requests. I think we've spoken enough about the game, and we're now starting to sort of go circles with our analysis. Yes, I understand a lot of us are upset. I am very, very upset. I'm very disappointed. I'm disheartened. I'm let down by this team. I'm let down by this entity that's more than just a football team for me. It's more. It's life for me to such a large extent, right? It's everything that I breathe. It's the air that I breathe. Everything that I do in my life is based on this club, and this is the club. This is the respect, or this is the disrespect that they're willing to show us. This is what it means to Manchester United to have fans like us. This is how much they want to, Anyway, guys. Cheers.